Tom Christie, also a member of our board, and listen, on behalf of the Uncle Dave Macon Board of Directors and the staff and volunteers of this incredible festival, we'd like to welcome you all here today. This is really an exciting day. We're going to lay out for you, and you'll see that as we've done in the last few years, we're about to take Uncle Dave Macon Festival to another level again, while still keeping it this great old-timey festival. So I'd just like to give you a quick rundown on what we will do today. First of all, we're going to have folks come up and talk about various aspects of the festival. We'll talk about the big changes that are taking place with the festival. We'll do what we call passing the banjo, a new vision for Uncle Dave Macon. And then we have our esteemed Mayor Shane McFarland, who will come up and talk about the economic impact, along with others to talk about what it does for the tourism here. Barbara Wolke will come up and talk about that. And we'll also introduce, we'll talk about some Uncle Dave updates, the festival itself. Donna will come up and talk about the great Sunday that we have in store for you. We'll talk about and we'll introduce our recipients this year for the Trailblazer and the Heritage Awards. And then you'll hear some introductions of our amazing, amazing lineup, and I don't say that lightly. And then finally, we'll just have a little Q&A with perhaps some of the folks here representing our lineup, as well as to the Uncle Dave Macon Festival staff and so forth. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our president of the Uncle Dave Macon Festival, Gloria Christie, to talk about Macon music. Gloria.
Let me just say right away that I must be one of the luckiest women in Middle Tennessee, because I get to do one of the most fun things on this planet, which is make people happy for 3 days in July in the heat. It's always the heat. But I also get to work with some of the most amazing, talented folks, and I just can't say enough about that. The amazing sponsors that we have, that they're not only our sponsors, but they're our friends, and they've learned to help us learn what we really need to be doing as far as promoting this event. The other thing that I want to say is thank you, Uncle Dave Macon Day's Board of Directors, for seeing the vision and catching the vision and helping me to see that we can do more to spread this happy, happy music to others. And that is what Macon Music Education is all about. This is a new adventure for me, to go into the schools, and the mission is to go to places, one where there is at-risk children, and two where there is no music in the schools. One of the tragedies of our time in education is that when that a lot of the music education programs are being pulled because of funding cuts. And we're trying to meet that need. The other thing is that there are places, believe it or not, where children are not being exposed to any cultural heritage experience. They don't know our history. They don't know the history of this music. They do not know the history of our country. And you know what? That is another tragedy. And guess what? These amazing guys right here, you see them? They turn into teachers. Believe it or not, they're so amazing. They've come in the most remote areas and bring them, wag their banjos and wag their instruments and their talents and gifts. And these kids just light up. They absolutely light up. And I tell you, I knew we were doing the right thing. When we went to Cannon County and there was a Down syndrome child who came up and started dancing with you guys, and y'all remember that, and the big old smile came on this child's face, and I thought that we got to do this. We absolutely got to do this. So we're on a roll, and that has part of the reason for my role to change and for others to come forward with the festival. And this has been a difficult thing for me, guys. But thank you, Board of Directors. Thank you, Mike and David and some of you guys. Right under my nose, you started telling me that about my own son and his gifts and talents, and that he should assume the role that I'm taking. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. But I wanted to show you behind me. You can see, look here, these are the smiling faces of children. Eddie, thank you for dancing with me. Yeah, we've had more fun. And the other thing is, I get to turn into a Tildy. Uncle Dave Macon's wife, right? Mike. It was named Matilda, and so I turn into Tildy, and I bring out my little suitcase, and I have fun with the kids. So that's going to be my new role. I'm going to turn into Tildy. So thank goodness I didn't wear that today, but I wanted to real bad. But anyway, I want to just right now take just a moment and tell you that after a lot of prayer and a lot of consideration, there is no doubt in my mind who needs to take my place. And that's my own son, Ben. And he has done an amazing job the last 2010, when we started gating, he was just out there doing all the grunt work. 11 through 13, he did all of the grounds presentations, made some amazing improvements with that and just logistics. And then he started taking on a creative artistic role and telling me that some things we need to do. And we really at times butted heads about this. I mean, y'all don't do that in your family, so I bet, but anyway, it came to the obvious decision that he should take this role. And I just want to introduce him to you and welcome him as the new director of Uncle Dave Macon.
Wow. So, I was driving back here from Shackler Road today, it was funny. I passed a curve, and there was a caution sign. And then I remembered it was the first time that I had been in a car with my mother at 16. And she goes, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. And I did. And we lived. And I can tell you, moving forward with the festival, I will always listen to her guidance, Mike's, David's, family members. But I'll tell y'all what, I really look forward to the challenges ahead. And that's it. Guys? Okay?
Yes.
Go.
I'd like to echo Gloria's words as a member of the board. By the way, for those who are on the board of Uncle Dave, I want you to at least stand up or wave if you're already standing up, because I want you to know that this is a working board. It's not, we're not sitting prim and proper, just throwing out policies. Folks are working hard. So if you're a part of the board of Uncle Dave Macon Festival, please stand up and wave so that if you're already standing up, yes. Big round of applause. So yes, and Ben is, one of the hardest if not the hardest working person on this board, and we welcome you and congratulate you and listen to your mom. So we would also now like to introduce our esteemed, I'm right. I make my marks and I can't read my writing. So we'd like to now have Mayor Shane McFarland, who will come up and talk a little bit about the economic and social impact on Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. And it's our new mayor. We're so happy to have you here. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Shane McFarland.
To be here today, and I'm not sure how long I get to use the term new mayor, but I'm going to use it as long as I can. So want to also recognize two of our fellow council members that are here. Mr. Bill Shacklett's here, and also Eddie Smotherman is here, so appreciate working with you guys. Folks, it's a pleasure to be here and talk about Uncle Dave Macon Days and what it does for our community. And that's the thing that makes Murfreesboro and Rutherford County so special. Not only blending and embracing what our history and our heritage is, but it's also being able to continue that. And we're in an area that has seen extended growth in our community, but yet you still can go 3 miles down the road and see what Murfreesboro is all about and continues to be about. So I want to tell you some points on an impact study that was done in 2014 by the MTSU Business and Economic Research Center. Of course, Uncle Dave Macon Days is held in Rutherford County, and it attracts more than 25,000 people in the 3 days that it is held. While the festival is thought to be filled with an older audience, the largest age group is actually 30 to 44, and nearly 1/3 of the attendees are less than the age of 18. And I know, speaking personally, my 3 boys in our family, we go every year, and I enjoy listening to all the music, and that's one of the reasons my 2-year-old likes to hear me play the guitar. It's the only person I'll play for, by the way. 40% of the attendees live outside of Rutherford County, so that means that Uncle Dave Macon Days brings a diverse group from outside of Rutherford County, but it also is supported locally. You can see that 60% of the people who come are from our local county. It also brings international interest. It brings people and their dollars into Rutherford County. The number of people that have visited Uncle Dave Macon's for the first time and those that have come in the past are even. So that shows that this organization and that the event is growing. So you're having new people who come every year. The surveyors asked what was one of the things that people disliked. And really the only thing that people could come up with, and Gloria's still trying to figure out how to solve this, and Ben will now, is that it was hot. But as we like to say in Murfreesboro, it's a dry heat. During the festival, each person spends an average of $50, and that includes lodging, travel and entertainment, that includes food, and their tickets. MTSU reports the economic impact of this 3-day festival is over $1.27 million to the community. And that's not just to the city, that's to small businesses who are gaining that benefit. So Uncle Dave Macon Days has been a part of this community for 37 years. It has honored some of the most notable names in country and Americana music. And it has brought millions of tourism dollars into this community. With a vision of Gloria and now Ben, the family that has helped with this, the volunteers, the board, the impact that this festival will continue to make on this community, I don't think we can measure in dollars and cents. The festival and Macon music and the hundreds of other ideas that these groups are working on will continue to make Murfreesboro embrace its place as the cradle of Americana and American music. It's my pleasure to be here, and thank you for what Uncle Dave Macon Days is doing for our community. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor. So, listen, you know these things, they don't happen just out of the thin air. By the way, I want to introduce a descendant of Uncle Dave. I consider him a good friend of mine now, and he's sitting there smiling, and I just can't resist. Mike Douglas, please stand up and let everybody know. He's the great something, great grandson. So yes, this doesn't happen in a vacuum. We have a lot of great people that support us. We're going to talk about the sponsors in just a moment. But first, we'd like to invite Barbara Wilkie here, who will talk She's the VP of Conventions and Bureau here at this great place, and she's going to talk a little bit about the visitors and Convention and Bureau and so forth. So come on up. Barbara Walker.
Thank you. It is truly a great day here at Murfreesboro. It is an honor to host this press conference for Uncle Dave Macon Days. And on behalf of the Rutherford County Convention and Visitors Bureau and the Chamber of Commerce, I would like to thank Gloria Christie, the event organizers, Rutherford County, the City of Murfreesboro, and Parks and Rec. It truly takes all of our partners working together to host this first-class event that showcases our hotels, restaurants, and attractions to 25,000 people every year. The tourism economic impact for 1 year in Rutherford County is $291 million. And those numbers reflect a $19 million increase over the previous year. And this increase is due primarily to the many events that we host every year. And Uncle Dave Macon Days contributes $1.2 million every year to those numbers. And Gloria, we would like to thank you for that. This Old Time Music and Dance Festival has previously been recognized as one of the best festivals in the state by Tennessee Magazine. Last year, the Southeast Tourism Society named Uncle Dave Macon Days as one of the top 20 events in the Southeast. Not just Tennessee, but the Southeast. And that is some great exposure. So we are looking forward to hosting Uncle Dave Macon Days for many years to come. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Barbara. I'd like to now ask Donna Barker, where's Donna at, to come up, and she's going to talk about, in addition to the Uncle Dave Macon Festival, a really great addition. Please welcome Donna Barker.
Hello, I'm, as he said, Donna. I'm with Hightower Booking and very pleased to be a part of Uncle Dave Macon Days. And I would like to thank Ben and Gloria and Tom for allowing me to be a part of it and everybody else involved. We have a couple changes this year. We're going to start the music this year at 2 o'clock instead of 10 like last year, and that will allow people to go to church, and this is on Sunday, to go to church and have their family time and not miss any of the music this year. We're going to start the day off with Andy Collins, who's an amazing singer-songwriter, and he's going to lead us in a community hymn sing, just like last year if you were there for that. It was fantastic, and it was great hearing everybody sing those old hymns and do it as a community. Then we'll follow that up with the old-fashioned shape note singing. That group's been a part of Uncle Dave Macon Days for years now, so those of you who know them know that's a great time. For the first time ever, we're going to have some full concerts on Sunday this year that we're really excited about. And we have a couple artists still to confirm, but one that I can verify and very pleased to announce is Christina Craig and the Christina Craig Band. Very excited about the doors opening for this young artist. She was voted 2014's Country Inspirational Vocal Group of the Year. She had a very successful Small Town America tour last summer, doing churches and fairs and festivals across the country. And this year is slated to play the Country Stampede in Kansas on the lineup with artists such as Blake Shelton, Florida Georgia Line, and Sarah Evans. So we're very pleased to have her here this year. Christina's a prolific songwriter. All of her music is positive, family-friendly. She comes from a background of severe adversity and had a song about abuse at #1 on the charts in November. So we're very pleased about that. So I really encourage you to come out and support her. She strives to be a role model for young women and only does positive, family-friendly country, and would love to see that come back to the forefront, as we all know needs to happen in this country. And we are very excited to have Uncle Dave Macon Days' first ever sunset concert featuring Larry Cordell and Lonesome Standard Time. If you have never seen Larry Cordell perform, it is one of the most entertaining shows you will see, in addition to all the other great artists that we have coming this year. Larry Cordell had his first big hit when he wrote Highway 40 Blues, which was recorded by Ricky Skaggs, and from that point on he's written hits for artists such as George Strait, Reba McEntire, Garth Brooks, Alison Krauss, and the hits that he's written have totaled over 55 million songs for these artists. He is a great artist himself who will be inducted into the Kentucky Country Music Hall of Fame in April. He has a new CD out called All American Duets. If you've not heard it, you need to get it. He's got duets on here with artists such as Garth Brooks, Alison Krauss, Kenny Chesney, Diamond Rio. So he is going to be a fantastic addition to this year's Sunday program. That concert will start at 6 and he'll do a full concert 6 to 7:30. So we're very excited about the changes for this year's Sunday. It'll stray a little bit from the old-timey country music, but we're going to have some great, fantastic country, bluegrass, Americana music this year on this year's lineup, and it'll be a great family day for kids and adults of all ages. So just want to thank Uncle Dave for Sunday and encourage you to spread the word in the community. And thank Uncle Dave for raising the bar every year on this event.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you. You all see where this is going, but I promise it's still getting better than this. First, we'd like to get, before we talk about the headliners and so forth, we'd like to get Gloria to come back up here and talk about the folks who really helped to make this possible.
Thank you, Kevin. I would like to recognize some of the sponsors that are here, and if you don't mind, if I mention your name, if you feel like it, stand up or raise your hand or whatever, because without our sponsors, this would not happen. And raising the bar means raising more money. We are a nonprofit, and you see that we're expanding our vision, and we need the support not only of the community, but we need the support of the business, and we've got it. We've done it. So many people have stepped up to the plate. And first of all, I know Ken's not here, but we would like to recognize that Ken Moore and Ram and Beeman Automotive, which has been a sponsor now with Uncle Dave Making Days. I think it's 5 years. And they've been an amazing presenting sponsor for us. Wilson Bank and Trust, they continue to be a great sponsor for us, and they are actively involved. Do you want to stand up? Stacey, there you go. And we've got media sponsors here. 650 WSM, they are so excited they're here with us today. Fox 17, WGNS Radio has always been a partner with us. And the rest, we have Brooks Crystal, they are a media sponsor and work public relations and promotions. There they are right there. And they're working. And can't say enough about the Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce. Oh my gosh, Wendy, and all state. Y'all are just amazing people to work with. Wendy, by the way, was my intern years and years ago. She just has helped us so much. And then Old South Properties. I don't know if Old South is represented here today, but they've been involved with this. And last year, we have a new sponsor, State Farm, who did the children's area, and they just did, State Farm is here. Yes? Yes. They did a great job. And you can't say enough about the partnership we have with the City of Murfreesboro and Murfreesboro Parks and Rec. There you go, Sheila. I mean, these are not just sponsors, they are partners, and they do amazing work. And I'd just like for you to give them all a big hand, please. All right, here we go. Now, we're sharing the same notes.
I'll take my notes. Oh, it's going the wrong way. This thing keeps dropping down. Okay, so I'd like to invite Ben Wilson back up to talk about our awards and discuss our lineup and maybe talk about a celebrity or two who might be in the room. Okay.
All right, now the exciting stuff. The Trailblazer this year is one of my favorite bands. The music, it's new music with old feeling. Still Drivers, Van Vanskill describes the band as fusion, as simply an incredible combination. Still Drivers been nominated for 3 Grammys, 4 IBMA Awards, and we're going back now. 4 IBMA Awards, and the International Bluegrass Music Association's Emerging Artist of the Year in 2009. In 2011, English pop star Adele began performing the Still Driver song "If It Hadn't Been for Love" in her performances. Her opinion of the Still Drivers is their blues, country, bluegrass swagger band, and they are brilliant. Our Trailblazer Award winner of the year is the Still Drivers. So this is very exciting for us. Grammy winner. Multiple people have come out of his band. Ricky Skaggs, Larry Sparks, Keith Whitley, just to name a few. Over 6 decades of traditional old-time music is what he's given us as a gift. Our Heritage Award winner this year is going to be Ralph Stanton.
All right.
Ralph emailed me a quote. He said, "It's always great to be recognized and honored for the music that I have created. At my age, I am just glad to be alive and still making music that people love so much. Thank you for this great honor, and I look forward to displaying it in the museum for everyone to see." Okay, we're going to do a little bit different this year. For the first time, we are going to have 4 full sets. We've never done that before, and everybody told me don't forget about the competition, so we're not going to forget about the competition. What we're going to do is when we get the crowds there, we're going to have Hog Slop come on, then we're going to have Ralph Stanley come on, and then the championships are going to close out the show. So we got the crowd there for them. Anyway, one of our... can we fix this? One of our featured artists is going to be Hog Slop String Band. All right. I also have a quote from Kevin Martin of Hog Slop. It says, "To Hog Slop, July's second weekend always means Uncle Dave Macon Days. We're thrilled to participate in its festivities for yet another year and contribute to the entertainment in a different way, but still worth our same enthusiasm and reverence for our one greatest musical hero, and perhaps the finest hillbilly performer to ever grace the stage and the Grand Ole Opry, the Dixie Blues Rock." All right, now on to our celebrity here. Russell Moore is the front man for Third Time Out. Third Time Out is considered a Class A act in bluegrass. He is the 5-time male vocalist of the year. Third Time Out is the 7-time vocal group of the year. And who better to talk about himself than Russell? So, come on up.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with you here today. And so thankful for a beautiful day to my wife and I, Carol, to drive up from North Georgia to be with you. This thing, we need to plug this thing. It's got a slow leak in it or something. Anyway, I'd like to maybe ask for your indulgence for just a second. Let me tell you a little story that actually has nothing to do with Uncle Dave Macon or the festival, but it'll all tie in just a second. But about 3 years ago, a good friend of ours, a friend of the band, a very talented songwriter from the state of Kentucky, came up after a set of music that we had played, and I was playing my old guitars, an old Martin guitar. And he said, "Russell, just how old is that guitar?" I said, "Well, Bill, this was built in 1938. He said, 1938, wow. Did you buy it new?" It took about a week, but then it turned funny. But I wanted to say that to tell you this. I'm not, just want to go on record here, I'm not old enough to have seen Uncle Dave Macon perform live. But his music has definitely influenced the style of music that I'm involved in today, bluegrass music. And just to give you a little hint of that, or a story about that as well, when I was probably 14 or 15 years old, I was learning how to play the banjo, and went to a bluegrass festival in Louisiana. And I remember spending the whole week, I say week, it was about 4 or 5 days. But I remember hearing somebody sing Rockabye Sarah Jane, which I know is a song that Uncle Dave Macon was noted for during his career. So the influences of his music are wide, and they definitely transcend into bluegrass music. Don't think I ever got that break just the way it should be played, and albeit I was playing more in a bluegrass Earl Scruggs style than the style of Uncle Dave Macon. But I said all that just to say that we're excited to be a part of the festival this year. We're looking forward to being there and sharing what time we have there with everybody who attends. And look forward to helping to celebrate the legacy of Uncle Dave Macon and also the legacy of this wonderful festival. And we look forward to seeing everybody there. Okay? Thank you.
If you wonder why short people have complexes, it's these kinds of things here. In fact, I think Tom was talking about tiny houses. I thought he was talking about my house or something like this with short people. As a matter of fact, we'd like to get Tom to come back up here and talk just a moment about the community services fair that we have, one of the great things that we do at the Uncle Dave Macon Festival. And so as soon as I'm stalling while he tries to get his camera fixed up there. Come up and talk to us just a minute, Tom.
It's just a little hard to do a selfie with one of these. The Community Services Fair has been something that we've done for several years now. I don't know even how many years it's been on, but maybe at least 8 or 9 years. Every Sunday, we try to get all of the agencies together in the community, the social service agencies, the not-for-profit groups, the city and state agencies that if they will come. And last year, we were very excited to have the Goodwill helped us to bring in the employers in the area. We had a jobs fair as well as part of the Sunday afternoon community services fair. So it's an opportunity for people to see the various agencies in our community that help people, what they do, and if they're looking for volunteers, if they'd like to involve other people in doing the work that they do, that's an opportunity for them to have people sign up as well. We always try to bring some trinkets and stuff for the kids because it's handy to have something to hand to the children so they can talk to the parents. But it's a very good thing to have going on, and many of them actually do come out and endure the heat for the afternoon and really enjoy meeting each other. They network with each other. Some of them have not met who else is working in a similar field in the area. One of the things that we're very proud of is that there was a group called Celebrate Recovery that comes every year. And several years ago, a lady came to the Celebrate Recovery booth that had never heard of it before, but she just figured out that she needed help, and she sat down and spent some time with the people who were there, and that lady's clean and sober today. She's been coming to Celebrate Recovery ever since. It is effective. It makes a difference in lives, the people that experience what goes on there, and so we're very proud to, again, this year offer the Community Services Fair as part of Uncle Dave Macon Days, and we're grateful to have that opportunity. Thank you.
It just keeps going, getting lower, doesn't it? I just wanted to tell you a little bit about another new addition to Uncle Dave Macon Days. Actually, a couple of years ago, we had as a part of the competition, the jug band. It's a natural feature of Uncle Dave Macon Days because Uncle Dave Macon's band was a jug band, right, guys? Sort of, yes, sometimes. and anyway, it just seemed natural that we bring it back, and we talked about it a number of years. And then last year, it just hit us when Lester Armistead from the Tennessee Mafia Jug Band passed away. And this is one of those times, one of those Benton mom times when he said, "Mama, we need to do something about that. What if we bring back Jug Band and name it after Lester?" And you know, I thought, wow, that is what we need to do. And there we go. I mean, it's one of those moments because a lot of artists, that's another a part of Uncle Dave Macon Days, is just to remember those artists and remember those traditions, because we didn't just get, believe it or not, the styles of music that we have today. Rock and roll didn't just happen. It evolved, and it evolved from this talented kind of music. And we need to honor that, and we need to honor folks that have been a part of that. We are really pushing Jug Band. Let me tell you, we're out there trying to network with Jug Band, other Jug Band groups across the country. This is going to be a growing concern. Mike Armstead, would you come up here just a little bit? Thank you.
Well, thank y'all for being here today. And it's an honor and privilege to be here representing my dad, Lester Armstead. Uncle Dave Macon Days is a magical place, hot magical place at times. And whenever I say magical, I want to share a quick story with you. We were Marty Stewart's hillbilly band for a short while. And Marty Stewart was I think he was the Grand Master of the parade that year. So we joined him. And the only air conditioner on the property was in there's a little cabin there. And that's where my dad, myself, and Marty, just the three of us. And there was nothing else in there but 3 chairs. And we're all 3 just sitting there staring at each other, enjoying the cool air blowing. A friend of mine, Mary Yeomans, comes up and she says, "Hey, Mikey, you got to come here and listen to this band." And I went out there, and this band full of energy, having a big time. And I was like, "Yeah, this is really good." So I went back in. I said, "Dad, so what do you think?" I said, "Pretty good. These guys got a lot of energy, you know." Marty said, "Well, let's all go see them." So we went out there, and sure enough, they were playing the bones, doing the jug stuff. One of them was blowing on the jug, just making a racket. And it was a wonderful racket. And Marty got the card from one of the guys that was in the band. He's like, "I really like y'all's stuff." And we went back, and the next weekend it was they were on the Opry, that very band, and which now they're members of the Opry. It was Old Crow Medicine Show. So a lot of dreams are made there, and it's a wonderful place. And this is a wonderful, I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's a silhouette of my dad. It's a wonderful tribute, and I think the winner gets one of these. This is like the trophy, and it is empty, or it will be empty, right? And no, Daniel, I'm not going to tell Marty about you, because we got to get next. No, but appreciate everybody coming out, and as Uncle Dave would say, that's all the candy you get for a nickel. So.
I just want to add, in case you WSM folks don't know this, they won Old Crow Medicine Show, one of our prodigies, won first place old time band, what is it, 2 or 3 that year, whatever that was. But one of your all's staff members paid for their registration fee. They didn't even have the money to pay us that money. So anyway, just had to add that.
And they didn't pay it back.
That's another thing. So many have come through Uncle Dave Macon Days and have grown into talented artists, and we are so grateful for that, and just continue to want to nurture that aspect of the festival. So thank you. All right.
So we're going to just wrap it up here in just a moment, but we would like to offer a question and answer period if you have any questions for the staff or for Russell here or Mike. And so let me just ask, do you have any questions or the things that we haven't answered before we conclude today? Ask away. I won't be answering. I'm calling on somebody else. Any questions at all whatsoever? Please. You gonna break out with a dance here?
No, not yet. This year's recipient of the Uncle Dave Macon Doubler Scholarship, Meredith Craig. She is the recipient for learning the banjo. That is her instrument of choice. And she starts her lessons tonight. This is her first day of lessons. And I'm so excited. I didn't know whether Mike wanted to say anything else about it, but that is his family's gift to the community, is to sponsor recipients of the scholarship. And the amazing thing is that in July for the festival, Meredith will be required to play. on stage.
Thank you so much. So as we conclude here, Rob, you guys going to play a few more as we end here, you know? And allow me to introduce our musicians here, who I've heard several times over the years, and you know, they're truly amazing. First we have over on the fiddle is Chris Gray. Then Rob Bell on the banjo. I happen to be a guitar player, so it's, you know, one of my local idols is Rob Piercy, and he's one of the greats in the area. And then we have Thomas Moffin. Where's Thomas at? Who might come back up here and do a few things you know, with his feet. So let me just conclude today by saying this. I think it's important. You know, I'm not from the South. I'm a military brat, so I traveled around. There's my wife and I, 15 years ago, decided to move to Murfreesboro. It was almost a dart on the wall when we were thinking about where we were going to settle down. And I got to tell you, Murfreesboro and Rutherford County is such a great place. And we are all just so honored to have festivals like the Uncle Dave Macon Festival that really shows, in my opinion, the great region of our country, the South. And so we just implore you and commend you to go out and tell people about the Uncle Dave Macon and experience just walking on the grounds and seeing a Rob Piercy or other folks that come from all over the place, and they gather in a spot, and next thing you know, it's just unbelievable. So please go out and tell the world to come out to the Uncle Dave Macon Festival in July. What's the dates again?
July 10, 11, 12.
10, 11, and 12.
And if you, one more thing. If you'd like to volunteer, anybody here, you can do that. And if you don't want to volunteer in the heat, help us with Macon Music Education. We've been in Cannon County all fall. We've got many things about Macon Music Education that you can be involved with, and that's it.
Thank you so much for coming out.